Tonight is our conscious prosperity, conscious thriving Zoom is what we call it, and everyone can mute, or as long as everyone can, you got your, as long as it's quiet, let's all join in so we can unmute ourselves. Or if you don't, I'll unmute you if you're unable to. That way you can control it. There's Mariana's on. And who is the 19257874550? Who's that?
It's Judy.
Hi, Judy.
Good evening. Hi.
I wish I could
stuck in traffic for a little while.
I got it. And then there's another one, 12502267634. Who's that? They're muted. Hold on, I'll unmute you. Who's that? Who else called in that isn't on a computer? There's Christy.
Carolyn.
Oh, good. Hi, Carolyn. So we're all on now, I believe, and let's start this. So, and we're recording, yes, and Irene's on. All right. So welcome everybody. I'm just going to jump right in. So, each of you were sent a while ago the Magnetize Your Prosperity and 7 Heart Center Steps. I'd like to discuss that and then go through some prep stuff, and then I choose to offer you some individual one-on-one coaching time as well as what we're going to do tonight. So who is first? I could do the raise a hand. Let's do that if we can. I'd rather just talk to everybody. So those of you that have listened to the, listen to the Magnetize Your Prosperity thing. Let's comment on that. So who's first? Say your name first and then just share your experience. Who's going to go first? Someone jump in. Well, I'm choosing to make this
expedient. This is Heather.
Okay.
So it's been some time since I listened to them all, and a lot has happened since then. And what most impacted me when I was listening to them is the decrees and the meditation on how I feel about money. Maybe meditation is not the right word, but how I feel about money, how I have been viewing prosperity, and shifting into being alive in I am already abundant now.
And in that, perfect. In that, what's your biggest challenge so far right now? About wealth, prosperity, money, cash flow, value.
My biggest challenge right now is cash flow.
All right. So, and I'm asking everyone, me too. I mean, I understand how this works, everyone. I just like when I don't see things in a linear fashion. So your cash, and vote victory, please everyone, see perfection, vote victory. If you have a little bit of noise going on, just mute yourself and then you can come back on, everybody. And because I'm choosing to hear from everyone. So what's your belief about cash flow? What's your inner statement about it, Heather?
My inner statement, it's limited.
Well, that you wouldn't walk around going, it's limited, it's limited. You'd say something like about it. Like not enough, never enough. There'll be a phrase.
Always run out of money.
Okay. And how do you feel about that?
I feel sad.
Okay. And so what this means, I'm just going to show, and this is what I'm choosing to help everybody with. This is the system. I always run out. So the minute money shows up, you tell yourself that you run out. And is that true? Have you done that?
Yes.
And what are you doing differently now?
So now I'm viewing money as, so shifting from that, you mean, or like?
Well, and here's why I'm saying this, so everyone can understand what I'm doing. Me too. I mean, I'm in the middle of a quantum leap. So my value, my cash flow is it just has to completely change, and it's miraculous what's going on. And So if I can find what I told myself about, let's say, money, value, abundance. Remember, if I use money, it could be any level of supply. So if I have a phrase of, I always run out of money, that means that the minute an issue of money shows up, I've told myself to run out, to run away, to not have enough. Can you first relate to that, Heather?
Yes.
And have you noticed it's not cognitive, it's not rational, it's subconscious. It's the instruction we gave ourselves,
Yes.
or we picked up.
A better phrase for me that I'm hearing now is I don't know how to spend money correctly. I don't manage my money well.
Well, yeah, but again, I always take the first thing. I always run out of money.
Yeah.
So I always run out. Then you come up with all the sidebar stuff.
Yes.
So one thing, I'm just going to show you. Instead of I run out, I run into money. Say I run into money.
I run into money.
Say it again.
I run into money.
Say it again.
I run into my money.
And yeah, and anytime a lack shows up, you turn, and instead of run out or away, you run forward and in.
Yes.
Do you like that?
Yes.
Cool. And again, we're going to just keeping it simple, and then report back in. Thank you, dear. All right, who's next? Who's next, kids?
I'll go, Bob. It's Christy. Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
I like what Heather said. I
like it. Wait a minute. I like it. I'll have what she's having. No, go ahead.
Yes.
So, but if you can find the phrases inside, and sometimes these are, I'm going to say them subconscious, meaning so to speak, audible, meaning that we might feel something without a clue, like, oh yeah, I got bills coming up, or oh, I'm going to like do that, but what about that? We can find that phrase that's in there that is all about our wealth supply, whatever it is. Grab it and bring it up to conscious. Now it's no longer operating at a hidden level. It's operating at a conscious level.
Right.
So if Christy, if you'll do me a favor, pick something that you choose to do where money came up.
Yes.
And then you just keep that in the silence. And and make it an issue about money. And what was the phrase that you told yourself?
I don't have it.
And how'd you feel about that?
Terrible.
Well, specifics.
Sad. Angry. Anger.
Anger. So I don't have what?
I don't have enough to.
Say it. That's it. Just stay right there. I'm writing. Say it again. I don't have enough.
I don't have enough.
So that you get a sense that pattern most likely has been living in your experience without anyone directly in your world claiming that. That's an unconscious pattern, just like I always run out of money or I don't have enough. Now,
Yes.
for I am that I am, whatever that is for each one of us, it's impossible I don't have enough. So we have to actually drop out of not enough, and we have to claim, we have to walk ourselves away from not enough, not having, not doing, not being. So the minute you come up with the feeling of anger or sadness, whichever, and you realize you have a goal where there gets to be more something, value, cash flow, something, and if you can get a hold of I don't have enough, got it? And you
Yes.
immediately reverse that. What do you reverse it into?
I have more than enough.
Say it again.
I have more than enough.
Say it again.
I have more than enough.
Say it again.
I always have more than enough.
Nice. Say that again.
I always have more than enough.
Good. I'm writing. Got it. All right. Who's next? Thank you. Who's next? And yes, somebody's got a little noise in the background. So who's going? It's the number 1-925-787-4550.
That's me, Judy.
Okay, Judy, go ahead. You got a little echo. It's just so tell me about what yours is about wealth, money, cash flow, whatever.
Yeah, it bounces between the first two people. Like
No. I'm not going to let you all pick. You know, you don't. This is not multiple choice. You have to go into you and find real words because it might be one word different.
Well, it usually starts with some kind of "I'm screwed" or something.
Say it
worse
again.
than
That's
that.
it. I like it. No, say it. I'm screwed. And then and how
I'm
do you feel about
screwed.
being screwed?
Screwed. Uh, moving between depressed and
No, you don't get to have a multiple choice. How do you feel about? In other words,
Okay.
let's pick something. You keep it in the silence that you choose to do where you know there's a financial relationship, and is it you got screwed when it doesn't fly, or you get screwed because you can't do it? What?
Well, it's not always the same. Okay, pick one.
Yeah, go inside.
Well,
You'll find one.
Well, it's just paying bills sometimes. I'll pick that one, paying bills.
All right, and something that's current. Yes.
Yes.
And so, is it the phrase I'm screwed, or is it about paying bills? What is it about paying bills?
I don't have enough. I'm screwed. I don't have enough. And this time what came up is shame.
Got it. So full sentence, please.
I feel ashamed.
Say it
I feel
again.
ashamed that I can't pay my bill.
Awesome. I'm going to jump in just because the more I do what I do, I mean, you know, I love to find the pattern and find where it came from. Those of you that have ever done mastery with the All For You training, and we do the margin noting, and we find a internal dialogue when they go find the source, then the cause of it, then the effects, new choice, new outcome. I began to realize, wow, these patterns started long before I landed on this planet. So I'm going to go through Heather's. I run out of money, but also I run out. As I cough, interesting. Christy, I don't have enough, and I always have enough. And then I'm screwed. And remember, think about this. Moms and dads and our conception begins the strongest pattern for us all generally. So if you can all begin to relate back to the feelings and thoughts and words, conscious and subconscious, of mom and dad and your conception, frequently this is what we picked to enter to resurrect, not to be controlled by. We picked this. So instead of I'm screwed, if you can imagine that, Judy, I mean, where does that phrase come from? Hello. And then I feel ashamed. So can you relate that to early childhood?
I can relate it to being in my mother's womb.
There you go. So if we can all find the source of the pattern, like, you know, the person, so to speak, that stimulated it, then what caused that, and that's usually some archetype, something from, you know, like coming from another country or being, you know, getting over here or lineage or something. And then the effects have been, then we realize, oh, that's not who I am. That's what I came to resurrect. So obviously the opposite of I'm screwed is what?
Obviously, it's I'm proud.
Yes. Say it again.
I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, and then
I'm proud of myself.
Yeah, and then it's ashamed. That takes care of that too. Instead of ashamed, I'm what? And I'm going to say, try this. Say, I'm chosen, and I'm honored.
Okay. I'm chosen and I'm honored.
Say it again.
I'm chosen and I'm honored.
And what's happening in you as you say that?
There's an uprising from my gut, from below behind my belly up through me. It's
Awesome.
slow and starting.
Good. So that, in other words, these are what I'm asking everyone to get is once we get that what we've allowed to control us is not in any way any power whatsoever unless we stay unconscious to our capability inside of it, and that we on some level, in my approach anyway, we made an agreement we would resurrect the pattern. That's part of our self-aware of now I'm valuable because the world said or some situation said I wasn't. No, I am valuable. Like Scripture, not religion, says, let the weak man say I am strong. Cool?
Yeah, chosen doesn't feel quite
Well,
right.
honey, we'll work it right now. You are always,
Okay.
in my experience, going to battle like that. Got it?
So basically the concept of the biological aspect of the relation.
So what you do is you don't go to that. You go inside and you still cook with it. So,
Okay,
but how about I'm proud? Say I'm proud. That was your first words.
I'm proud.
Say it
I'm
again.
proud of myself.
There you go. Say it again.
I'm proud of myself.
So are you screwed or proud of yourself?
I'm proud of myself.
So, and what's the opposite of I am screwed?
I'm honored.
Ah, keep going. What else? How about I'm valued?
I'm worthy.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm-
Well, I like
I'm
your words always
worthy.
better.
Valued.
Yep. Good job. And so stay with those
Thank you.
words right now. You're welcome, honey. You're welcome. And I'm going to have you, I'm going to mute you for a minute, but I'm not sure. Can you mute and unmute yourself on the phone driving?
Yes.
Okay. So if you'll mute you, that way you're in charge of that. All right. Who's next?
Carolyn,
Okay.
I realized when I was doing some outcome mapping about money that I have enough money, and I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm directing it to. I have some idea, but I think I would be more excited about how to manage it if I knew what projects I want to do in service. So I've got ideas, but not specific ideas.
So I like that. So I have enough. Is that true? I have enough. Yes.
Yes.
And in managing having enough, I can relate to this big time. So I'm going to stick with this for a second. So there's a statement in the handout that I've got up here. I probably can bring it up. Here it is. Seek ye first. So for me, this was the hottest prosperity ticket I ever found. And it's scriptural. It says, and it goes like this. It says, I call it now the law of priority. It says, seek ye, which means me, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, which means the consciousness of God. Now, this is not religion. This is just laws. Seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, which is, I realize, is inside of me, inside of you, inside of us. And it's righteousness. And I finally worked that out to say right useness, right action, and all else should be added unto us. So what I'm realizing now is when I seek first my heart's top number one call, request, demand, magnetic attraction that I'm in the picture of for me, the oracle of my heart, which is my God through me, and take action on it, everything else is added unto me. So can you relate to this as, oh, okay, what am I here to invest? It's always, and this is so helpful, find your heart's top priority.
Yes.
And what's your heart's right now? No, and without any editing, and no, I won't hold you to this. And don't give me all of it, but get enough so we can hear the words and you can hear the words. What's your heart's top priority right now?
Service.
Okay, good. So you now know you're going to put down service as part of it. What else? Service how? First words.
Embodying the divine somehow. Okay, that was
All right. And then you're going to make it personal. So remember, just now say my service.
my service.
Say it again.
My service.
Now say my divine service.
My divine service.
Now, most of us will begin to sort outside of what's right according to society, so to speak. That may or may not be true. Meaning that may be our divine service. It might be completely different than that. You can have it all.
You
So
can have
what?
your cake too.
Say it again.
You can have your cake and eat it too.
Well, you are cake and you are eating it and you're everything of everything. All of us are.
Well, that
Yes.
like-
So now, hold on. So now, what haven't you done that you desire the most to do? First words, remember, there's no right or wrong to this. And then if you just speak a word or two or three or whatever, it's usually much faster than thinking about it because it's not up in your thinker. All right. How do you feel that you haven't served fully yet?
Myself.
Full sentence.
And I haven't fully served myself.
But again, how do you feel that you haven't fully served yourself?
Just not enough fun.
Say it again.
Not enough fun.
Not enough fun.
And,
So hold on. So not enough fun.
Lightness.
Wait, hold on. You got it. Don't mess with it because it's too perfect right now. Not enough fun. You now know that service and having fun are two criteria that must be met. Yes or no?
Yes.
Service and fun. So do you all get a sense this is what we're going to do back and forth and back and forth? And then all of a sudden, what I've discovered is, so when I seek first, my heart of hearts, top call, what service and fun are going to be in there. If this is me, the service and fun, wow. So what do you love to do that you haven't done yet that's fun relative to service?
I don't know.
What's that?
I don't know. Service and fun, but that does hit a very deep place. I'm just not sure where it is. Relationship of some kind.
All right, so now you know fun and in relationship.
Ah.
So now what I'm asking everyone to do is when we start, I see it as a chain from the subconscious. We get one little bit and it's connected to another link of a chain. And that's connected to another link of the chain. And if I'm not up here intellectually going, well, I haven't never, and I know, wait, there's no, it's just service and then fun and then relationship. What we're doing is starting to pull up from our subconscious or other than conscious self. I like that better. We start pulling up into our aware realm exactly what is in our victorious life. So can you relate to that?
Yes.
So
Yes.
do you realize now that service, fun, and relationships or one or whatever are an aspect of, again, seek ye. This is for everyone now. Seek ye, that's me, seek ye first, not second, not third, not first, right away, boom. Our hearts, our own personal heart's top number one call. The kingdom of heaven is within our heart. And it's right action, and everything else is added unto us. And that is a total freak out to our rational mind.
And it is.
Yes, and that's the point, that I will pour you out a blessing greater than you can contain, pressed down and overflowing, so to speak. So to me, it all starts to make sense that this thing called thriving means we're actually letting all good be added unto us, pressed down and overflowing. And that means we will not be able to manage our little self anymore because it's over. We will have to let grace flow through us, and most of us are going to weep most of the time. And you now know having fun is important, yes or no?
Yes.
In relationship and serving.
Yes.
Now, does that help?
Yes.
And
It
everyone,
does.
and I'm going to share with everyone while I do little bits of this with each person, I'm inviting you all to vote victory versus practice. If you start practicing, I wonder what mine is. You're not voting victory, therefore you're going to take longer. I still vote that you'll get your victory, even if you practice. Yeah, I practice. It's okay. I forgive myself, whatever. And yet when we vote each other's victory, some miracle, we basically are assured of our victory. When we're voting and giving forth selflessly to help someone, we immediately hook up to our own victory. That's just the way it works. So far, was that the beginning of helpful?
Yes, very. I could feel it. It was a deep realization.
Good. Thank you. I'm going to go. Who's next? Who's next? Jump in.
Hi, Bob. It's Mariana.
Hi, Mariana.
You hear my little voice? Say hi. Hi, Bob. It's Mariana.
Hi, Mariana. It's Bob. That's really good. Go ahead. So again, were you getting nervous, Mariana?
No. Yes.
A little. Yeah. Just honest. That's all.
Yes.
Sure.
In a good way. And
no, don't even say in a good way. Don't do that. Don't do that. I mean, don't make it. Oh, that's okay. I'm okay. Don't be okay. So in the past, have you had enough in your life ever?
No.
So I ask everyone to just, like Mariana just did, don't make it right or wrong, but admit the truth. It sets us free. Let the weak man say, I am strong. Our greatest weakness shall be our greatest strength. But if I don't admit, well, in a good way, if I don't try to fix it, if I can just sit, Helena taught me this, my beloved when she was on the planet, who Mariana knows, and Irene knows, by the way. So literally, Helena would just ask me, she would, there'd be conflict up in the beginning of our relationship, and she never slept. So I was like, we got to do this. And thanks for sharing. And she would have something up with me always. And I would have to feel like, well, I need to have something up with you. And she goes, no, honey, only one of us gets to be on it at a time. And it was one of the biggest struggles in my life to listen to what she had to say, and I would try to count out like 60 counts and then go, and what you do for me is that. And she'd go, no, honey, I've got an issue with you. You just have to sit and receive it, even though she didn't say that. But when I was able to just sit and not move, not fix, not defend, not protect, not retort, not react, just sit in it, is when a miracle happened every single time. So Mariana, I'm going to ask you again, and good job. Have you ever fully felt supplied in your life so far? Fully felt supplied.
No.
All right. So now you don't make that wrong. You just say it's okay.
It is okay.
Good.
And I am okay.
Yep. And so, and I recommend you say it is okay, because it's not who you am. This is an it for right now. And
Yes,
I do this for a reason. So you're
It's
way
okay.
beyond. Yeah, it's okay. And you're just talking to the thought form, which is an it. It's okay. So now, how do you feel in your life? So, and this is for everyone, if we can get to the pattern of what doesn't work and just admit the facts of it, that again, know that the name of a thing, we have power over the thing. When we have something, and as Mariana said, and it's okay, it's in a good way. No, let's not make it a good or bad way. Let's just own, let the weak man admitted weakness and then goes, I am strong. But we have to know the truth. It sets us free. So the more I'm getting about this and the more I'm helping my world is, if I got something up, just sit in it. So Mariana, do you realize that, and this is the archetype, not to move you away from where you are, just to be aware, that more than enough is what you came here for, yes or no?
Yes.
And can you do it by being right?
No.
No. It's just who you am. Can you do it by resisting lack?
No.
No. Can you, oh, see, and this is the archetype of this is only love can do this. And I'm going to say agape or divine love, or, you know, that which is beyond the little human. And not the right love, just the real, complete source code type love. So now, for me, most likely that little ant, when you said, in a good way, that little thing right there, that's for me the one not to do. That was what Helena taught me to go. And what you do, honey, she would smack me upside the head, so to speak. And it was like, oh my God, she's such a tough one. Jeez, okay. And my love for her was stronger than my need to be right after about a year and a half. It only took a year and a half every day, all night long, whatever. For me to sit in the pattern, it was and yet it was glorious beyond measure. We both were transformed. So by just sitting in this, do you realize that your children are getting all this right now of what you're doing?
Yes.
And have you been settling for not enough?
Yes.
And have you been talking yourself out of any discomfort about not enough?
Yes.
So this is one of the tricks is I recommend you don't identify with it, but if you have pain, anger, fear, grief, sadness, whatever it is, I recommend you let that get bigger versus talk yourself out of it.
Yes.
And normally I would say, and like down the road, you've got all the tools to make choices, but right now don't make a choice on this one is what I'm suggesting in the system, to just literally sit and learn everything there is to learn about not enough, where it came from, who else has it in your world, how frequently you've seen it, your ways to escape that, and then bring in complete love to that pattern.
Yes.
Without any thought whatsoever of changing it. And when perfect love touches something, it does something magic. Clear?
I'm clear.
It's clear?
Yes.
Nah. So if you all heard in the coaching, clear, I am clear. Honey, will you marry me? I will marry you. I'm staying in a trance. I'm not going to say yes, because if I say yes, anyway. So is this clear for you, Mariana?
Yes.
The yay, nay, nay thing, whoop, nay, nay. No, not that nay, nay. Anyway, so the point is the yes and no are really the ways, open door, close gate, open gate, close gate, ones and twos, so to speak. Let your yay be yay. Clear? So, it will intensify, Mariana, even though your nature maybe is to try to talk yourself out of the intensity. In Robert Fritz's book, The Path of Least Resistance, what we're doing is cultivating structural tension here.
Yes.
Not enough, and you sit in it, and instead of settling out of the situation, you just sit and stay, sit and stay, sit and stay. It brings to mind one of Neville's stories about some folks that have some land, and I don't remember it exactly, but they had some land and they desired to build some apartments on it or something, and they just said, we're going to practice what Neville said. And I believe it was all structural tension is the way they did it. And they just said, so we imagine that we've got our apartment or whatever it was on this property. And so all these, pseudo options came in, and they just would not move. They would not move. And then finally a builder comes along and asks if they'd like to sell it. No. And then they just kept imagining. They wouldn't give up. They wouldn't give up their full vision. And then eventually he says, well, I'd like to build it for you. Well, that's great. And then he comes back and says, well, I'll actually pay for it. And then you can pay me. In other words, they stayed and they stayed and they stayed true to their vision. And eventually the whole thing came about exactly the way they imagined it, because they didn't have a plan B. They only had a plan A. So a reminder to all of us, and to you, Mariana, our plan A is what God's divine plan is for each one of us, or our I am that I am's plan is for each one of us. And when we give up early, and step away from our full measure to let this work out, what we're telling our I am that I am self, our God self, that we're just not ready yet. And so what I'm inviting all of us to do is realize that this is a full measure time. This is, the being poured out a blessing that thrives us personally. That's really one of the most important pieces for each one of us individually, is to literally understand that everything in our world less than perfection is actually inside of all of that less than perfection, seeds of illusion, whatever. Inside of that are seeds of perfection. All things have a purpose under heaven. Our greatest weakness shall be our greatest strength. And when we can sit right inside of the limitation, weakness, struggle, and not move and just love it just the way it is, not believe in it, but just touch it with love just the way it is when a miracle is reshaped from within and completely replaces and transforms the pattern into the divine signature is meant to be. Does that help, Mariana?
Yes.
And has it intensified for you sitting there or not?
Yes.
That's great. Thank you for your yeses. All right. Who's next?
Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome.
Hi, Bob. It's Irene.
Hi, Irene.
I'm not sure what my words are because I'm now in such a fabulous place. Money flows.
All right. So hold on. Perfect. Hold on. I'm going to use that. So how about this? Now, first of all, everybody celebrate Irene. It's happening. She's using it. It's working. So now, Irene, your next wave of greatness and blessing is coming. Yes or no?
Yes, it is.
And so there's certain, not my rules, because I'm doing my own version of this. So I prefer not to even say anything about the structure of what's returning. What I realize is our cup fills up and then it overflows. So in your overflowing, what is your, and again, George Herbert, a quote that I use of George Herbert, whoever that he was, I've spoken it for like 50 years. He said, he begins to die who gives up his desires. So now if I reverse that, we stay alive with entheos as we admit we're always creating. So in the next level of creation, once we get motivated by benefit, which is where it sounds like you are, what's your next level of creation?
It's big.
Who is?
I'm big.
Yeah. And so what will you have to give up to let your next overflow happen?
My fear of being seen.
So therefore, everyone, in my experience, is going to have to do this. Eventually, we'll realize, very personal for each one of us, that we will have to literally remember and embody we are a sun presence. And imagine our sun, like the Jimmy Dean sausage commercial, if you've ever seen that, where the moon's not feeling it, man. It's just not feeling it. Then he has a Jimmy Dean sausage or whatever, or sandwich or whatever, and then he's feeling it and go out and be a full moon. He shoot a moon, so to speak. So being seen is, and what's the word pattern about being seen?
Really choosing to spit it out.
Well, like, pause for a second, honey, just for a second. I in the system is unconsciousness, apathy, grief, sadness. So have you had sadness about not being seen?
Yes, I have.
By who?
My dad.
Yep. So now this is where you'll be seen by your dad, yes or no, in the ways that you choose.
Yes.
And what do you feel inside when you realize this?
I feel.
You did it again. It's awesome. I feel awesome, honey. And not what now. Here, what I'm looking for is current reality versus what you want or choose to be true. What didn't
What's
your
coming
father?
up is
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I should feel proud of myself.
Say it again.
I should feel proud of myself.
And yet you're still waiting for Dad to confirm you, yes or no?
Yes.
So that's okay. I recommend all of you, if you need to have your father confirm you, even if he's not on the planet or whatever, have your father within you confirm you. So first of all, can you love that? And this is not about your dad. There's nothing personal ever about mom, dad, for any of us. It's our perception. So, we don't throw it out to some external source. So is it time for you to confirm yourself through your father?
Yes.
What we have to give up to confirm yourself?
Being the little girl. I
And
get to be
Yeah.
I get to be myself. I get to be my woman self.
Okay. So can you bring your child within along?
Yes.
Because to enter the kingdom, we have to be as a child. And yet grown to the full stature of our anointed self. But we still have available to us our full creative childlike energy. Yes?
Yes.
So I'm asking everyone to relate to this. What I've learned about this thing called life is that we're going to go through a bunch of contractions and expansions. Contractions and expansions. And whenever we feel we're contracting is actually when we're expanding. And whenever we feel we're expanding, we're most likely contracting. And that's just like peristalsis, like the heartbeat, etc. It's a movement forward if we will let ourselves move forward. So if I notice fear, anger, grief, sadness, joy, whatever it is, ride it. Don't resist it or don't need it. Ride it. Let it move you forward. So now that you're thriving and your child within, your little girl self, so to speak, as you said it, and your woman self are beginning to merge in one, and there was a requirement from Dad, yes or no?
Yes.
And what was that requirement?
Grow up. Stop dreaming.
So can you just honor that that was his reality?
Yes.
Forgive him.
Yes.
Just say, yo, Dad.
Yo, Dad.
It's okay.
I forgive you.
Yeah, and I forgive you.
It's okay.
Yep. And now your job is to parent yourself.
I like that.
And so now that the world sees you, remember, all that's really important is love, not growing up, not doing it right, not getting over it. Clear? You're being your full potential. So many people that grew up gave up their childhood. That's where the pineal was calcified in most adults. Then the pineal is enthusiasm, entheos. That's the only, the real spark that keep alive is everyone is enthusiasm. That's why I do body electronics still to this day, is it's the fastest way I know to actually dissolve any crystallization in the pineal, besides all the other things that it does. So do you get a sense that enthusiasm is that childhood person in there? Yes or no?
Yes.
That enthusiasm is the spark that makes you magnetic to good.
I get to be
Not I
my
get.
little girl and
Not-
my woman.
Yeah,
I
but
am
yes.
my little girl.
How about I'm enthusiastically creative?
I'm enthusiastically creative.
Say it again.
I'm enthusiastically creative.
Say it again.
Yes, I'm enthusiastically creative.
Say it again.
I am enthusiastically creative.
Awesome. Now, does this help you down the road now that you've got cash flow happening? This is part of your igniting your world, yes?
Yes.
The enthusiasm has always been your strong point, yes?
Yes, it has.
Got it. Cool. Does that help?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Awesome. You're welcome, dear. Awesome. Who's next? Hello? Who's next? It's one of the numbered things, I believe. One of the caller inners. Oh, maybe they dropped off. Maybe that's everyone. All right. Is there someone yet to go? Did I miss her? All right. I'm going to say this is what we got for now. So here's what I'm going to do. First of all, I gave you the recording because it was like, this is my tool. This is my way to have you get out there. Now it's time for a quantum leap, and then another quantum leap and another quantum leap. But this is not, it can be big in the world. We can be big in the world, but this is about us remembering our full value in us. In other words, our job is to get happier and more content and more enthusiastic every moment of the rest of our lives. Every single moment for the rest of our lives. So what I'm suggesting, I'm checking our time right now, I'm suggesting and what I'm offering is to do a coaching, and the way, if you choose to do that, it's part of the thing, so it's just, it's paid for. You would just connect with my office. You're eventually going to get to, and just take this down, TourTech, TourTech, which is going to be Taylor, so TourTech@masterysystems.com, and schedule a mini prosperity session with me. It'll be about 20 minutes. And I'm asking you to have clearly, it could be that you have a block. That's fine. We can work with that. I can work with that. And I prefer to have you do some work, and let's double check and just have you like outcome map your next wave of value and prosperity and self-love and being in your picture and doing what you love and being of, like quote unquote, what we found earlier, that your service or whatever it is, or having your Father's love. And what I will do is ask you some questions that will either reveal any updates, tweaks, adjustments to where you are, and or it will take you further into full embodiment. So let's talk about that. Just so you understand, are there any questions of what I'm suggesting? Number one, I'll say it again. You're going to have a 20-minute session with me, and Taylor will set that up. It'll be a Zoom session. It'll be recorded so you can listen to it again. It's already included in what you're doing financially, so there's no investment in it, no additional investment. The purpose in this is to have one-on-one time where you can get specific, and I'm what I call a committed listening. I'm turning you back over to God. So, it's like I won't even remember about it. That's just the way it works. And I will ask a series of questions. Either that or go, awesome, see ya, because you did such a great job. What's the next? Now in 3 years, we'll progress wherever you are. And hopefully, as I say these things, most likely, and I'm going to talk a little about that in a minute, how many can feel a little bit of, how many got tight in your gut? I'm going to ask that now. Answer, who's first? How many notice you got a little tight in your gut?
It's Mariana. I got a little tight in my gut.
So that means this is perfect. Thank you.
Yes, it does.
All right. And who else?
This is Heather and me as well.
Did you get any tight in your gut?
Yes, I got tight in my gut and my throat.
Awesome. Thank you for letting me know that I helped you get tight in your gut.
You're welcome.
And I have been doing ab work, so that's maybe what's going on. Just kidding. Okay. Who's next?
This is
This is
Judy.
Christy. Oh,
Wait. Whoever is first, go ahead. I don't know. I choose to know.
I'll jump in. This is Judy, and yes, I got tight and still am, and in my gut and my chest, and my mouth is drying out.
Awesome. How cool is that? Sorry. That sounds funny. Oh, you feel all that?
Very.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Yep.
yeah, this is Christy, and my throat is hurting, and
How about I have pain in my throat?
I have pain in my throat, and fear is coming up.
And for me, this just means that that's what we all will face to go through our next expansion. So I'm pre-designing this so you'll all go, now that I'm satisfied, now that I'm fulfilled, now that I'm confident, now that I enjoy, now that I land in my gut, now that I love love in me. Now you start to work all that, and miracles happen even before we get on our session. Cool? All right, Kishi's off. And one more. Who do we have? One more. Who is it?
I feel overwhelmed. I can't remember what we're supposed to be doing about the next wave of prosperity. And
Well, so in other words, when I started saying you have a one-on-one session with me, what did your body feel?
Probably there was a tightening in my gut and, breathing heavily or something. Okay.
Got it. That'll work. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for sharing on that. And so everyone, here's my outcome. My outcome is we have about 8 to 10 folks on this in this ongoing prosperity thriving thing. It's time to move forward in the next wave. I'm also going to, maybe some of you can notice, you'll begin to taste that. And what you're most likely tasting is the heavy metals that have been hanging out, armoring you, protecting you. And once you let more and more love in, there's no need to protect. That's why that taste is usually being mobilized right now. I sense it, and you usually track that pretty carefully. So what I'm inviting you to do, review the material you've got and get yourself a list, a print, outcome map if you know how to do it, and begin to outcome map simply, now that I'm thriving, what's new and different, now that I've got miracles, what happened and what changed for me. And that's about all I'm going to share with you, because a lot of us set up something like this. I don't have money, so I can't go do X, Y, and Z. If I did have money to do X, Y, and Z, that question we usually don't answer because we don't have money to do X, Y, and Z. So I have to figure out, well, how am I going to get money to do X, Y, and Z? All on the side of not having, not doing, and not being. Neville comes along and says, well, imagine from already having and doing X, Y, and Z, no matter how it comes about, like the folks who got the apartment building built. So I'm asking all of you to just simply let the universe supply you with the how, and you figure out personally and specifically the what. You realize the universe is for you. Instead of the worst case scenario, you're in the best case scenario for you. And to identify what that is. I mean, when we found out, service, fun, and relationship, that's way more information than what most people start with. That's way more information. And so the more you go, what am I, now that I love what I do, now that I'm fulfilled, now that my dad honors me, now that I have more than enough, now that my family has more than enough, and then make it personal for you. What's new and different in you, for you, by you, around you? How do you wake up in the morning? How do you do all that stuff? And you begin literally to become more vivid from your desired outcome than anything you've known that didn't give you your desired outcome. And when you're more vivid than old patterns, that which is more vivid and in technicolor, so to speak, comes about. Whatever's the most vivid. Right now, all of us can look in our checkbook in our mind and go, yeah, well, whatever. But once we go, all right, money's completely handled. My money, I always have so much money, I don't even have to check it, don't even have to look at it. I like that. Anybody else? I like that. And something in me had to change to take my attention off the not having, not doing, the wanting, the needing, the trying, the figuring out, to get to the point where, now when I'm doing, I'm serving, I'm loving, but it'll be all for me. It'll be my own personal joy to do all this stuff. So that's why I'm inviting each of you to realize that your great, glorious God self is the one right here, right now, that created tension in your gut, and not tension bad. Got it? It was the movement of spirit forward, and the contraction was where we have been contracted in the past. If the heavy metal taste was, if you found that, that's just where you were armoring in the past. And now spirit doesn't need to have any armor. Spirit, like, if God is for me, who could be against me? So this is like, all right, just notice it. Don't identify with it. Well, now that I'm fulfilled, now that I'm satisfied, now that I'm happy, now that I'm, and again, it could be an amount of money, but I've gotten amounts of money before. And it was never an amount of money. I remember in the I Am Discourses on the book on supply, I believe it was book number 19, it says, it said in there, which it's like a 2x4 upside the head, can't so clear. It said, paraphrase what I got from it, says that if I am well, the way it said is if you are more relaxed because you have an amount of money in the bank, that's an error. Because, that's happened to me a million times. And I realized that, that's such a finite, small thing to relax about when my creator has got all resources completely. And I have the opulence of the universe to draw from. Wow. How cool is that? How cool is that? So do you all get a sense of, wow, all right, this is about me shining like the noonday sun with every resource I require to build all the things I love to build, and I love to share, and I love to give, and I love to bless and experience and receive. I mean, for me, I love doing bio-optic holography sessions. We're doing training now for the people that just did this triple certification. Many are on this call. And the point about this is I love doing this because I get to share the secrets of the universe that people have to be at a certain level for me to be able to share it. I love it. And I also love when somebody else doesn't have to take 50 years to figure out how to do the system, wake up in the system and be immaculate in the system. I love to help. I love that. I love building bridges over ravines, so to speak. So you have your version of that. Every one of you have your version where you love when you light people up. And you love when your love inspires people. Or you love when your light and your love and your presence calms people and ignites confidence and courage and faith and trust and forgiveness and all the other things that we can have come through us. So remember, you're in the picture and you count. You're created by God, and you're created by God for full manifestation of everything that's valuable in you, through you, and for you. You may be with outside, it may be with others, but it's your experience of others. It's your personal revaluation of your experience and partnership, oneness with all life. So I recommend that I'll make sure that an email goes out from Taylor. And I also recommend if all of you tonight would just email TourTech, which is Taylor, tourtech@masterysystems.com, TECH, @masterysystems.com, and say that you're choosing to schedule your 20-minute prosperity session with Bob, free session. I would just say it that way so he knows. And that way we can get it scheduled as soon as possible. And remember, you get your work done. So when you come, you've got your outcome map, even though you're not going to read it. You're going to have your outcome map right there so we can begin to go, here's where we am. And then just to verify and make sure that when you're done, you're at peace in your gut, your throat, chest, all the other areas that talk to you tonight. All right. Questions, comments, statements?
It's Mariana, Bob.
Yes, ma'am.
I am very grateful. I'm very grateful for participating tonight. And in my participation, I've received such wonderful blessings. I thank everybody on this call. Hi, Judy, and Irene and girls. So thank you, Bob. I say thank you. Thank you very much. I love this course. Amen.
Amen. We are welcome. Anybody else? Thank you.
I have a question, Bob.
Yes.
Can I do my outcome mapping? Would this work if I say, now that I always run into my money, and then outcome map from that?
As long as you're personally fulfilled.
All right. I am fulfilled.
Yeah. Well, but
Okay.
remember, you got to find what brought you into being magnetic. See, remember,
Yes.
all this is about being magnetic. And only love makes us magnetic. Only love makes us magnetic to good. That means without effort. So yes,
Yes.
all of you, outcome map whatever fulfills you and makes you magnetic. Cool, Heather?
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Who else?
Wow, that's awesome. That we get to do this. and do the outcome mapping and then have you coach us. It's awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank everybody on
Yes.
this call.
Yes, 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 yes. Who else? Going once?
It's Judy. I'm also in deep gratitude for everything that I brought and each of us brought, and I especially thank you, Robert, for being our true brother, my true brother.
We are welcome, my dear. I'm welcome. You're welcome. It's awesome. And this takes courage to do. Yes, kids? Courageous, yes. And by the way, we are in the age of Ker. Ker age. Pun. Pune. Thank you. Anyone else? Anyone? Going once? Going twice? All right. This will be shared with you. I vote your victory. We'll talk soon, and then we'll schedule, after we do the mini sessions, we'll schedule again. And stay in the game now. Remember, just imagine that good is coming to you in ways that you don't know, and you'll simply know, oh, all I have to do is walk by faith forward, already having what I ask for. Remember to ask. It's okay. Ask, seek, and knock. Ask is the verbal request, get specific. Seek is the mental attitude. Knock is the physical action. And move forward where you are becoming more and more and more fulfilled. This is the glory of God agreed to. So remember, your heart is the oracle of your Creator. That's the way it works. The kingdom of heaven is within each one of us. And when we let ourselves thrive, like our personal desires, pure desire, a loving desire, are literally our Creator's desire through us. And the way we glorify our Creator is to fulfill our heart's desire. And usually the minute we do that, we help others, we serve. So, once we have more than enough, we usually share. That's just the way it works. Want is an illusion. And more than enough is just study nature for just a few minutes. And as I comment on this frequently, go study bamboo. One little teeny bit of bamboo in the yard, and pretty soon the whole yard's full of bamboo. That's nature. So, all right, blessings all. Thank you for being on tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Bob.